It is Wednesday afternoon, and I'm not even going to call this like a day of kitchen reno update because this wasn't even a full day, it was just like an hour. So I'm going to get back to the kitchen in a second. I'm just going to acknowledge a big hole in this video that Bonita passed really suddenly over the weekend. Like suddenly, but not like super suddenly in the sense of like I could tell she'd been declining for a while. She's up, she was getting at that age. She was almost 17 years old. She'd had a rough start in life. She's got a really, really good vet, and he's saying it doesn't look like she's suffering. It's really hard to tell with her because she was never a good eater. So our gauge was as long as she's still accepting the foods that she likes and she's still enthusiastic and responding to you, we're not going to worry too much. It could just be she's got like the dog equivalent of a cold. We're going to just monitor and see how she's doing. So up until Friday night, I was not particularly worried about her. Saturday morning, she refused any food at all, and I went, okay, that's not a good sign. Vet came, and then the vet came on Sunday, and then something happened on Sunday, and I had the vet come back, and I made a decision. So it's just been a really hard few days, and the renovation's not going well, and I just keep having to regulate my emotions, and I, be careful what I say, and separate issues out and stuff so that I don't, I just, try to be mature is, I guess, is what it is. Because like I was told last week, I confirmed 3 times, you guys are going to be back Tuesday morning and you're supposed to do 3 days and you're going to be on my Thursday. Yes. That's what he's saying to me. So nobody showed up by 10:30 yesterday, contacted them, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I told you Wednesday, but we'll be there tomorrow, Wednesday, today, and we're going to get stuff done, and we're going to get you done by the weekend. Nothing again by, it was almost 11 this morning. To be fair, it was at 9:30, get a message, we'll be there at 10:30. 10:30, I get another message asking me to send a photo of what I'm looking for light switches. So I knew at least the guy was at the shop, and he showed up around noon, I think. And he was here like an hour, like a couple hours. It was like nothing much that he did today, but the worker, I can't, like, there's nothing, like, it's got nothing to do with him in the scheduling. Like, he just shows up where he has to show up. He's fantastic. He works hard. He works well. I think he's like, he's like the same thing as me. He says, this isn't right with the scheduling. And I'm like, it's not even like, I mean, at this point we are at 4 full weeks. We're at a full month since we started. And it is starting to piss me off a little bit. But at the same time, it's more of the fact that, my dog died like this, like they don't know anything about this. So this is just me personally like venting, but my dog died on Sunday and I still had to go back to work after because I thought I was going to have a big week of renovations. I was going to get a lot of interruptions, a lot of people coming and going. And I didn't feel that I could afford to take those 6 hours that I needed on Sunday to myself because I needed to save them like from the week, only to find out this week that there's like no stress, there's no renovations, nothing going on. I would have just been able to take that Sunday off. So that really bothers me. And I just keep telling myself that's the culture here of the renovations. Like now, like I know 100% that's just how the culture is. And they just, it's funny. There's parts, there's a lot of, these myths about Mexican culture about, lack of punctuality and that they're lazy and stuff. And that's absolute BS. In business, Mexicans are usually on time. They're hardworking. In a lot of respects, there's no issues. It just seems to be here in Yucatan with the renovations, everybody seems to be taking on too much and doesn't know how to multi-manage, like multitask on different projects. That's what it is. And because now that I know for sure it's a cultural thing, it's me that has to adapt. It's not them. And that's what I was saying to Rafa today. I said, I'm watching very carefully what I'm saying. I said, I don't, we're just talking, you and me. I said, it is what it is. And I'm the one who's just going to have to just come to terms with it. So that's where we are today. So I'm just going to show what he did do. So he installed these contacts here. So they're not exactly what I wanted, like my first choice, like what I have in my office. These are more like what I have in my bathroom upstairs, because I don't really like that they've got this big thing here, but they're fine. There's absolutely, it was on the list of options that I sent to them, so that's absolutely fine. The important thing is everything's gonna match is the important part. So he changed this one also, so that looks nice and clean compared to what I had before. And then we came up with a plan for this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this completely. This is the fan control. And the fan right now turns on with this, and then I control it with this. What we're gonna go with instead is he's going to switch it over so that over here I have 2 switches, or 3. I'm still gonna have 3 switches. I know we sorted this out, but anyway, because I have to have one that works with a light outside, but it's going to be 1 switch for each fan. And then there's going to, and then I'm going to just control this fan the way that I control that fan, and that's with the chains. So, and then I'm not going to have like the switch like this. And then, so I'm going to just have like a row of like contacts that do stuff, and then I'm going to replace, instead of having these 2, I'm going to have an outlet like this, with the 3 prongs. So that'll be really great, and it'll just kind of clean it up. So that's very good. And I just gave you a hint. And then the other thing that he did today was this, which I'm really happy. He was the perfect person to put this in. It just, the amount of care that went into getting it in right and making sure that the seam lined up and that there's no bubbles. He made a template with cardboard. He's the perfect person to put it in. I would not, but he would do such a good job. He just did a really good job, and it looks amazing. Can you imagine when I had to take pictures tomorrow morning with the sun coming in, because we've got a big storm coming in. So yeah, at least this feels like now like we're moving forward finally. And I'm sort of thinking about just not putting the header back on the blinds, but then again, I don't really want to see the mechanism on the side, so I gotta decide about that. But yeah, so this is the first thing that I'm like, okay, now we're starting to see like final details. So he's saying, and then he said, I'm gonna remove your water heater so that we're ready to put the new one in tomorrow. And I looked at him, and I'm gonna go back out where it's not echoey, and I said, there's no way you're taking out my water heater tonight, because to do that, you guys cut water to the house. And then he says, but yeah, but your Tanako, you should have enough water for at least 3 days of the Tanako if you're careful, if you don't do any laundry. And I said, yeah. If I could trust that you guys would be back tomorrow, put my new boiler in. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, he says, you're 100% right. And I said, no, you're not doing it. That's how I'm going to protect myself and reduce my amount of stress, is that you don't do any prep until you're ready to do things. Like if it involves cutting off the water, cutting off the electricity. And he goes, yeah, that's absolutely fair. So he says, I'm done for today. And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Great guy. Again, like just no complaints. He's good worker. Like he's a really nice guy. It's just, he's at the mercy of his boss's schedule. And then I'm going to just go and show off my new toy. I did a blog post about this, but it might have gotten lost with the Bonita stuff. My washing machine gave up the ghost last week. Like, seriously, like, I mean, I look at my life and I go, if these are the things that I'm dealing with, my washing machine dies, my kitchen's not finished, my senior dog, who had a very good long life, dies. I'm buried in work. I'm like completely blessed. I completely get that. But my washing machine died last week, and I was not looking forward to having to shop for a new machine. But I have a trustworthy appliance repair guy. So I had him come, and he was able to come on Monday to come diagnose and confirm that it wasn't worth replacing, because all these modern washers nowadays have motherboards. Like seriously, like I'm not trying to go to the moon, right? And then, so he always comes with his wife, and his wife said, well, we've got a refurbed American style top loader for sale that we could sell to you, which is this one. And I was just like, I don't think she realizes just how over the moon I was when I saw this photo of this thing, because yeah, these are not the prettiest looking washers, but this will probably outlive me. So I was just like, and then I just knew I didn't have to worry about how am I going to get rid of the old one? How long am I going to be without a washer until I can get a new one? How much out of budget am I going to be for a washer? Am I going to be back in the same situation in 4 or 5 years that, I spent all this money on a washer? Because my last one was so inexpensive that it owed me nothing, and I'm not mad about it, but I'm not going to get another deal like this. So I couldn't believe it. Monday, 10 o'clock, 10:30, shows up, and he confirms, yeah, the other one's dead. And then we make a deal. He says, I said, you wanted $3,300 for this one, which was like nothing compared to what I was expecting to have to pay. And he said, and I said, if we can do 3,300 and you haul away the old one, we've got a deal. He says, deal, I'll be back at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, he comes back and he says, I was talking to my wife and we think we can get money for the one that's broken because the parts are in demand. There's parts in there that are in demand. So we're going to drop the price to 3,000. And I'm like, fantastic. So I have got a really good appliance repair guy in Merida. He's done work for me in the past and like he's definitely at the top of my contacts. So at least that was like one of everything that's been going on. This was just such a blessing to have this. And like I got caught up in my laundry. It would have probably been, I think I calculated at least 6, if not 8 loads with the other machine. And the other machine took 2 hours to do a load. So I was looking at like ages to get caught up. I got caught up in 2 days. Like today I did all my towels and bedding in one load because it could have better capacity. And it takes 1 hour instead of 2 hours to do a cycle. I actually took 2.5 hours because I used more water. I think the other one would have been like 3 hours to do the cycle. So by 9 o'clock, everything was on the line and I was just ready to go. It just reduces your stress. I mean, like the laundromat's not far. It's like literally across the street, but I don't like bringing my stuff to a laundromat because here somebody will wash it for you and bring it back. And I know people like that, but it's not me. So, so I had like laundry hanging everywhere possible. I have my new, I set up a clothesline back here, so I have extra space, but I always have to remember when it rains that I have to make sure that I don't forget, because I almost forgot this afternoon to get everything off the line, so I just got everything off. I also gotta be careful because I don't go out here very often. I had like a big spider hanging out in one of my clothespins. It almost bit me. I was almost the new Spider-Man. Watch out, Tom Holland. So that's it. So that's the update. So as I said, I'm not even going to consider this like a day of number of the renovation because this was ridiculous. But you know, at least a few little things happened. And I'm just going to show you from outside. You can't really see, but it looks really good. And it's got like a UV protection thing in there, so it's going to help block the sun in the morning and give me some pretty lights. So that's where we are. Just hoping that something happens tomorrow because I think another problem with the reno, I'm gonna just flat out say this, I feel that I gave them too much money up front. I don't normally give that much money up front. The big difference is the other renos, I was going out and buying all my own things. So even though I paid a lot up front, I had all the stuff on my porch waiting to be installed. So if I got screwed over by the contractor, I could always say, you know, F off. And I've still got all my stuff and hire somebody else to come and install it. But I don't have anything to show yet for this money that I've spent. So I just got to hang on to them. And I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have any issue. It's just gonna happen. But I just feel like I've just spent a lot of money, and I'm a month later, and I just don't feel like it's actually really happening yet. I'm still kind of in disbelief that anything's gonna happen this week. So anyway, I can't wait to see this tomorrow morning with the swing class. So I will be back hopefully with better mood and better updates.